Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us. I'm Peter Dubois.
And I'm Beth Jones. First tonight, a woman who was found guilty of killing her 7-month-old child in 2017 was back in court today.
Our Madeline Gernhardt has more.
Miranda Hopkins, who was found guilty of manslaughter in 2017, returned to Waldo County Superior Court to argue she received insufficient counsel. Hopkins claims that the investigation was inadequate, citing her use of marijuana was misrepresented, as well as post-verdict misconduct and improper preparation for sentencing. Hopkins' defense attorneys from the 2017 trial were called as witnesses and were questioned on the lack of investigation of Hopkins' former husband.
I mean, I don't have a specific recollection of the conversations as I see it right now, but we definitely spoke about her husband or ex-husband, whatever he was.
The prosecution argued Hopkins had not previously alleged that the husband was involved, and that the lock systems installed on the trailer where they lived were never a concern to Hopkins. Hopkins herself took the stand as a witness to speak to the nature of the security system which her former husband had installed in the trailer where the family lived. Hopkins also testified regarding her medicinal marijuana use and the alleged ineffective nature of her preparation for sentencing. Hopkins expressed remorse for her statement of apology during that sentencing.
I'm still finding out to this day how this has hurt people and affected people. I'm sorry, it's not good. I'm sorry I said it.
Wednesday's hearing was the first of a 2-day hearing. Proceedings will continue Thursday at Waldo County Court. In Belfast, Madeline Gernhardt, ABC 7 and Fox 22.
A Palmyra man was arrested today in connection with an armed robbery that happened in Winslow over the weekend. 30-year-old Dustin Smith was arrested by state police at his workplace at 10:30 this morning in connection with the robbery. He is now facing numerous charges, including robbery, theft, aggravated assault, and criminal threatening with a dangerous weapon. Just after 6 o'clock Sunday night, Winslow police got a call about an armed robbery that had happened on the Abbott Road. Chief Leonard McDade says the suspect fled the scene before officers arrived. He says the victim, the suspect, and a female all arrived at the crime scene together. He says the suspect allegedly pointed a handgun at the victim and ordered him out of the car. And then once outside the vehicle, the suspect allegedly had the victim remove his clothes, then fired the gun and assaulted the victim, causing facial injuries. McDade says the suspect allegedly left with an undisclosed amount of cash, and the victim was taken to a Waterville hospital to be treated for his injuries and was subsequently released that night.
Maine's Attorney General says 2 state troopers were justified in their use of deadly force when they shot and killed a Pittsfield man in February. According to the Attorney General's report, the parents of 27-year-old Gregory LaSalle told Pittsfield police he was out of control and had threatened them with a tire iron and fire poker. They opted to stay in a hotel that night. Police say his parents told them when they returned to their home the next day, February 25th, Gregory insisted his father read to him from the Bible, and when he stopped, LaSalle told his father the dog had to die. The report says LaSalle then ran upstairs to retrieve a gun, and his father took the dog outside. When outside, LaSalle's father said he heard a gunshot from inside the residence. When he went back in, his son was pointing a gun at him. The parents told police that's when LaSalle turned the rifle toward his mother, who was on the phone with 911. They were able to escape after getting the gun away from him, and a police standoff then ensued. Police say LaSalle eventually came out of the house armed and fired at officers during a scuffle over the gun.
Well, the U.S. District Court has approved the final settlement of a class action suit returning unemployment benefits seized from incarcerated workers in Maine. Under the settlement, the state agreed to return the unemployment benefits it seized from 54 incarcerated workers at the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic. The court-approved settlement requires the unemployment benefits seized from the workers' prison accounts to be returned by September 14th. According to Megan Sway with the ACLU of Maine, the settlement also recognizes that money in incarcerated individuals' prison accounts is their property, meaning that the state can't seize money from those accounts without due process.
Maine's public defender system wants to more than double its budget to better represent people who can't afford an attorney. The Maine Commission on Indigent Legal Services voted to recommend a $62.1 million budget next year. The proposal would open 4 public defender offices in the state and also raise the hourly fee to $150 for court-appointed lawyers. The state is being sued by the American Civil Liberties Union of Maine, which contends there is a failure to ensure the constitutional right to effective counsel. Maine is the only state in the nation without a public defender's office for those who cannot afford to hire a lawyer.
Well, switching gears now, $5.8 million in federal grant funding is headed to Maine. Senator Susan Collins and Angus King announced today the economic and infrastructure grants will be going to 11 towns and organizations in Maine. The money comes from the Northern Border Regional Commission. The grants will be used to replace aging water infrastructure, improve roadways, enhance rural broadband access, and support small businesses.
Mainers expressed their thanks to some of Maine's congressional delegation today. Notes and thank you letters were dropped off at the offices of Senator Angus King as well as Representatives Jared Golden and Shelley Pingree regarding their votes in support of the Inflation Reduction Act. The act was signed into law last week by President Biden and will make investments in fighting climate change, expanding affordable health care, and addressing the high cost of prescription medication.
We know that there's a lot more work to be done to make sure that everyone has equal access to health care, but we are very glad that this is a step in the good direction, and we want Senator King to know that we recognize and appreciate the hard work that he and his staff have done to make this happen.
The investments in the act will be funded at least in part by new taxes on large corporations.
We had a very mild day today. It
Yeah.
really was. It wasn't the sunniest day we've ever had, but the temperature was just perfect. Everything was calm. I kind of liked it.
I think comfortable is a great way to describe it. You're right, not too hot, not too cool, but what's to come? Well,
let's take a first look at our forecast and find out.
Thank you so much, Beth. And our first weather today is brought to you by Scott's Recreation. Locations in Turner, Manchester, Herman, and Orono, Maine. So maybe not the nicest weather day out there today. We did have some cloud cover throughout the day, even some scattered showers, especially just north of Bangor. Most of that is in our favor and is finally starting to move out of the state. But temperatures earlier today weren't so warm. Our average is closer to 78. We had a 75-degree reading in Bangor. Some cooler 70s by the coast earlier today. Same thing up north, 70s all across the state. So that is the big story today. Some near average, some slightly below average for the most part across the state. Fog, not a big issue right now besides Rockland by the coast, but fog will be the issue overnight, and same thing by the morning hours as temperatures tonight continue to cool off into the 60s. Beth?
Alrighty, Conrad, and still to come on Fox 22 News at 10, the University of Maine unveils its new Engineering, Education, and Design Center.
And Southwest Harbor Library offers free media literacy courses. We'll have those stories and much more after this short break.
Love is now electric with the all-new 2023 Subaru Solterra. 0 emissions, all Subaru. Starting at $44,995.
When I married my late husband, who was a widower, I took on his beautiful daughters as my own. The chaos of raising 5 girls while working full-time didn't exactly prepare me to govern during turbulent times, but it helped. I learned to listen and work together because no one has a monopoly on solutions in a family or in a state. That's why we brought Democrats, Republicans, and Independents together to move Maine forward. Girls, some things just don't change.
Do you struggle to open or close your windows? Are they drafty or leaky? Are you constantly adjusting your thermostat only to have your energy bill skyrocket? If you're nodding your head yes, Renewal by Andersen is your best solution. They custom build and install weather-tight replacement windows and back them with a generous, fully transferable limited warranty.
Call now to schedule your free design consultation. Plus, take advantage of this limited time offer with incredible savings and attractive financing. Don't miss out. Call Renewal by Andersen today.
General Rental Center has been serving Central Maine with equipment and tool rentals for more than 30 years. Our extensive inventory contains everything you need to get the job done right. Our professional, knowledgeable staff is here to make sure that you get the highest quality rental items to complete your project and that they have been serviced and maintained to the highest standards. Power brooms to get that sand off the lawn, leaf blowers, brush chippers, stump grinders, aerial lifts, tillers, and excavators. We rent most everything. If you don't see it in our online catalog, please ask for it. If we don't have the item you need, we would be happy to help you find it.
Welcome to Flatch is a love letter to the community at its heart.
Flatch, we love you!
Welcome to Flatch.
You're welcome!
1 full hour Thursdays on Fox.
LAFC, we will come to you.
I can feel it.
Get off the field!
Oh my God.
911 season premiere September 19th on Fox. Watch anytime. All seasons available on Hulu.
Welcome back, everybody. Well, looking to our south, Portland voters will be busy this November with 14 local referendums on the ballot, many of them drawing both strong support and opposition. Brad Rogers has more on a group of local citizens that launched a campaign against all 14 ballot questions.
The Enough is Enough campaign opposes all 14 ballot questions, including initiatives that would increase protections for tenants and limit the number of short-term rentals. One citizen initiative would raise Portland's minimum wage to $18, but with a consequence for restaurant workers.
The minimum wage ballot question that's been put forward by the DSA would in fact eliminate the tip credit.
Two other ballot questions would limit the number of short-term rentals in Portland. The idea behind that is to open them up to people who live and work here. Alex Parisi says short-term rentals are her livelihood.
You know, it's another initiative to put me out of business.
These measures will make it more difficult and more expensive to live here, to work here, and to raise a family here.
We asked the former city councilor how these initiatives would hurt renters and working Mainers who say they can't afford to live in the city.
It's certainly true, but that it's costly to live in Portland. The truth is that these ballot measures will depress worker wages. They'll make housing less affordable.
But the Maine Democratic Socialists of America, who are behind 4 ballot questions, says workers and renters are getting squeezed out of the city by rising rents and more than 800 short-term rentals.
Those are taking up homes that workers in Portland need to live here. The workers in Portland deserve and need housing stability and security, and we're not getting it from elected leadership, and we've waited for years for city council to take action on this, and every time they've dillied and they dallied and they've listened to bosses and landlords.
Enough is Enough members are asking voters to reject these initiatives. They also hope to discourage similar referendums in the future.
Enough is enough. We must vote no on all 14 ballot questions.
However, some voters we spoke with see nothing wrong with citizen initiatives.
I don't think we should limit referendums. I think it's a good thing. It's not, to me, about overriding the city council as much as it is about providing every single person a voice and the opportunity to vote.
And that was Brad Rogers reporting. Meanwhile, the Belfast Veterans of Foreign Wars Post will be holding a first-ever auction to help local veterans in need. The auction takes place on Saturday, registration beginning at noon and ending at 1 o'clock. Then the bidding begins. The proceeds will benefit the VFW's Relief Fund, which helps vets in need pay their bills and meet basic everyday needs. The VFW's commander says the mission of the VFW is to honor the dead by helping the living, and they are anticipating a difficult year with increased community need. So they're needing folks to come on down to the auction, bid on items, and make some donations.
There's a little something for everybody at the auction. There's toys, there's kitchen items, there's grills, tools. We're hoping people come in. We'll be accepting all kinds of payments, including cash, checks, credit cards. So we're hoping everybody comes in and enjoys the day and helps us help each other.
Roberts says local businesses have been generous in donating new and used items for the auction. Again, registration begins at noon and people will have an hour to view the items up for auction. Food and beverages will also be available.
The University of Maine unveiled the latest addition to its Orono campus today. Our Devin Dagnall takes a look.
After years of work, the University of Maine has opened the doors of the E. James and Eileen P. Furland Engineering, Education, and Design Center. Dean of Engineering Dana Humphreys says the university has constructed this new engineering center not only to improve the education of its current students, but also to attract current and future engineers to the state.
Maine desperately needs more engineering and computing professionals. And what this building does, it will both attract students here to want to study engineering and computing, and it will help us do an even better job educating those students.
Each floor of the center has been outfitted to serve a different aspect of engineering. The first floor features a cafe, laboratories, common areas, and several workshops for students to meet and collaborate on work with each other and their professors. The second and third floors will become the new homes for the mechanical and bioengineering faculty and classrooms.
We have a resource and an asset here that is best in class, that the state of Maine needs to be proud of what we have here, and our legislature and 2 governors have supported this work as well as so many others. And we are very excited about the kinds of partnerships we'll make throughout the state with this building at the center.
The University of Maine is wasting no time putting the Design Center to use and will be having students attend classes as early as 8 a.m. on Monday morning. Good luck to them. In Orono, I'm Devin Dagnall, reporting for ABC 7 Fox 22.
And those 8 a.m. classes, always tough to get up for, but hey, you know, that's what you're paying for. You got to get up and be there, right?
I remember my early days at Syracuse, I had an 8:30 class, so I'd get up at 4:45 for crew practice, go in, shove breakfast in my face, and then run to the 8:30 class. And between just being tired from the early rise and then food coma, unless I sat in the front row, I was out like a light in the back.
God,
Not every time, but there were definitely a couple classes where I missed a little bit.
Yeah, that's an
those
early start.
Classes are a little rough, for
Can't
sure.
completely blame you there. I would have been in the same boat. Well, still to come on the 10 p.m. news on Fox 22. President Biden announcing some relief for people with student loan debt, where millions of Americans can expect to save up to $20,000.
And a series of leaks is shedding light on what led to the FBI raid on former President Trump's home. Those stories and more when the 10 p.m. news on Fox 22 comes back.
The Piscataquis Valley Fair, an old-time county fair featuring farm, steer, and ox pulls, pedal tractor pulls, truck pulls, a pig scramble, and much more. Fun rides on the Midway and daily and nightly entertainment. The Piscataquis Valley Fair, August 25th through the 28th in Dover Foxcroft.
Prices are up. The economy is weak. Maine families are drowning. But instead of helping, Jared Golden cast one of the deciding votes for Biden's new massive spending bill that will make inflation even worse. Tax hikes for nearly everyone, and up to 87,000 new IRS agents who could harass the middle class. Times are tough. When Maine families needed a lifeline, Jared Golden threw us an anchor. Congressional Leadership Fund is responsible for the content of this advertising.
The OG Fountain Coke, the velvety smooth iced coffee, the triumphant return of High C Orange Lava Burst. Whichever is your favorite, they're all delicious. It's more than a drink. It's a McDonald's drink. Choose your favorite when you get any size soft drink for just $1 at McDonald's. Right now, you can enjoy deliciously refreshing beverages like an ice-cold Dr. Pepper or other soft drink for only $1. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Wherever you are, whether you're ready or not, it's coming. With a purpose, with persistence, with the power to change the way you live. So you don't have to change the way you live. Generac automatic standby generators. Control your power, control your life. Visit Generac.com.
Oh, great. My wireless bill just went up.
Should have gone with US Cellular. They aren't raising prices on any of their plans.
Seriously?
Yeah, my price won't increase.
Well, that is refreshing. I feel like everywhere you turn these days, prices are going up.
Supply chain got us too. Don't get me started on the overhead costs.
At US Cellular, every plan for everyone is price protected.
You know, I respect a female entrepreneur.
US Cellular, where every plan is price protected.
The Piscataquis Valley Fair, an old-time county fair featuring farm, steer, and ox pulls, pedal tractor pulls, truck pulls, a pig scramble, and much more. Fun rides on the Midway and daily and nightly entertainment. The Piscataquis Valley Fair, August 25th through the 28th in Dover Foxcroft.
You're watching Fox 22, Bangor.
Paying off student loans? Well, you are certainly not alone. More than 43 million people have federal student debt with an average loan balance of more than $37,000. That according to federal data. Now, President Biden is making good on a long-awaited campaign promise. Fox's Madeline Rivera explains from Washington.
95% of the borrowers can benefit from these actions.
President Biden giving some relief to millions of Americans with student loan debts, canceling up to $10,000 of federal loan debt for borrowers making less than $125,000 a year. That number increases to $20,000 for people who went to school on Pell Grants.
All this means people can finally crawl out from under that mountain of debt, to get on top of their rent and their utilities, to finally think about buying a home or starting a family or starting a business.
Delivering on a campaign promise, the president helping more than 43 million people who have federal student debt, and roughly 20 million will have their debt wiped clean.
My student loans have been forgiven.
I pay for my student loan and everyone else should pay for theirs too.
But not everyone is backing the plan. Critics say canceling loans could further impact inflation and add to the national debt.
And the 87% who don't have student loan debt are going to pay for it in the form of maybe higher taxes down the road. Obviously, they're just putting it on the debt right now, but they're also going to pay for it in the form of higher inflation.
The president giving borrowers another break, extending the student loan payment freeze through the end of the year.
It's going to end at that time. It's time for the payments to resume.
And that was Madeline Rivera. Meanwhile, the countdown is on for the Department of Justice to explain to a judge why the affidavit connected to the FBI raid at Mar-a-Lago should remain sealed. The National Archives is also revealing what other documents had been taken earlier this year. Fox's Lauren Blanchard has a closer look from Washington.
I didn't have any advance notice. None. Zero. Not one single bit.
President Biden broke his silence Wednesday on the FBI raid at former President Trump's home and says he didn't know it was coming. Meanwhile, in Florida, a legal showdown is looming between the Department of Justice and Magistrate Judge Bruce Reinhart. The judge wants to know why the affidavit that prompted the search at Mar-a-Lago should remain sealed. Redaction suggestions are due Thursday from DOJ lawyers who argue making it public would damage their ongoing investigation. Former President Trump has called for it to be released.
No reasonable person really believes that this raid on President Trump's compound was the equal application of the laws.
This week, we learned a team of DOJ attorneys not related to the probe have been reviewing the documents taken from the former president's home, looking for anything protected under attorney-client privilege. The National Archives also revealed in January they recovered more than 700 pages from Mar-a-Lago containing classified documents.
This is a form of grand theft. These documents don't belong to him. The Presidential Records Act requires all documents, whether they're classified or unclassified, that they are the property of the government.
Former President Trump's legal team recently filed a motion asking for the appointment of a special master, arguing the government has long treated the former president unfairly.
Donald Trump is a Republican. He's leading in the polls, and that is a problem for Joe Biden.
The former president's legal team has until Friday to better explain to the judge why a special master is needed to review the evidence. In Washington, Lauren Blanchard, Fox News.
The Uvalde School Board has fired School District Police Chief Pete Arredondo. Tensions did run high at Wednesday's school board meeting, with the family members of victims and survivors alike calling for Arredondo to be fired. One child's statement was met by an outcry of cheers when she called for the officer to, quote, turn in his badge. Arredondo's job and reputation was on the line.
Cause exists
after reports show it took the police force more than an hour to respond to the devastating shooting at Robb Elementary School this past May. Arredondo has argued he did not consider himself the commanding officer on scene, but has since resigned from his position on city council. He was on leave from his position as the school's police chief.
Lake Kentucky father shared his story after losing his son to a fentanyl overdose. The incidents become all too familiar in the Bluegrass State, and officials there now believe this crisis is stemming from another. Fox's Mike Tobin explains.
Alan Reed regularly visits the grave of his son Brandon in Richmond, Kentucky. Brandon played baseball. Father and son fished together. One day, Brandon got a knee injury that required multiple surgeries. He was prescribed OxyContin, an opiate for the pain.
There's a lot of parents could tell this very same story that I'm telling right now. The end result has been catastrophe.
Brandon followed familiar destructive patterns of addiction, but survived until October of 2021. He bought opiates from a woman, and fentanyl was part of the mix. The dealer saved him from his first overdose of the night.
She revived him with Narcan. Then she drove him to get his last dose. And then later on that night, Brandon took his fatal dose at his girlfriend's apartment.
In 2021, Kentucky crossed the grim threshold of more than 2,000 overdose deaths for the calendar year. The director of the Warren County Drug Task Force says 72% of those deaths are from fentanyl. 2 years ago, his task force seized 2,000 fentanyl pills in Kentucky. Last year, that number doubled. This year, the number has already tripled with more than 14,000 pills seized. He blames the unchecked flow of migrants at the southern border.
Along with that is the drug trafficking and the flow of drugs into this country winding up in communities like Bowling Green, Kentucky.
Kentucky's senior senator puts the blame squarely on the president.
This dereliction of duty at the border by the Biden administration is outrageous and unacceptable. And until they get control of the border, this is continually going to rise and create an ongoing catastrophe.
The investigation into the death of Brandon Reed resulted in the indictment of 10 people, 2 directly for selling Brandon the drugs. In Bowling Green, Kentucky, Mike Tobin, Fox News.
Well, as children head back to school, parents are being encouraged to get them vaccinated against COVID-19 to help prevent a possible spike in infections. Fox's Jonathan Siri has more from Atlanta.
Welcome to your first day of school!
It's back to school for kids across the country, and for many, COVID-19 precautions like mask wearing are being relaxed following the CDC's own changes to testing and quarantine guidelines.
I know that school the past few years for many has been a little bit disrupted by the COVID pandemic. And I think that, hopefully this year can be closer to a school year that we're used to.
This is a time now for us to normalize conditions.
But the CDC and doctors across the country continue to encourage parents to get their children vaccinated, saying it's the best defense against infection.
Especially before returning to group classroom settings, just to make sure that your child is up to date, including their primary series and any boosters they might be eligible for when it comes to COVID-19. That's going to be really what keeps our classrooms safe this fall going into the new school year.
Vaccination rates among school-age children remain low. Experts say the new subvariant of Omicron can have a high breakthrough rate and is highly transmissible, causing a concern over a potential spike in infections.
We want to keep kids healthy and prepared for school.
To help combat new infections, Pfizer is seeking federal approval for its new vaccine, which targets the latest Omicron variants along with the original strain of coronavirus. Meanwhile, the FDA has authorized the Novavax COVID-19 vaccine for emergency use in children ages 12 through 17. In Atlanta, Jonathan Siri, Fox News.
More military aid is on its way to Ukraine 6 months after Russia's invasion began. On Wednesday, the country marked its Independence Day. Fox's Alex Hogan has more.
Ukraine marked its Independence Day Wednesday without any large celebrations or parades. Streets remained largely deserted in parts of the country while officials warned of possible Russian missile attacks.
The risk is huge, and that's why the safety is a priority for us, safety of
our citizens.
In Kyiv, air raid sirens rang throughout the capital city as charred Russian tanks and military equipment sat on display in the central square. Wednesday's holiday comes 6 months after Russian forces first invaded Ukraine. Support continues to pour in from around the world. During a surprise visit to Kyiv, British Prime Minister Boris Johnson announced another $63 million in military aid. The U.S. also increasing its security assistance, sending roughly $3 billion more into Ukraine.
We will see a Ukraine that is sovereign, that is independent, that is prosperous going forward, but importantly, a Ukraine that also has the means to defend itself against aggression.
During a meeting with the UN Security Council, President Volodymyr Zelensky said Russian forces launched missiles at a railroad station in central Ukraine on Wednesday. He called on the UN to hold Russia accountable, saying Moscow's ambitions could be even bigger than Ukraine.
We must all get united and act as soon as possible so there are no more traces of Russian missiles and no more cities burned by Russian artillery.
Kyiv remains on high alert for possible attacks, canceling most large events through the end of the week. In Kyiv, Ukraine, Alex Hogan, Fox News.
And still to come on Fox 22 News at 10, what to expect if you plan on visiting Acadia National Park this coming Labor Day weekend.
And in sports, we'll head to Orono for the annual Meet the Black Bears night at the Alpine. Stay with us.
LEGO Masters is back. We are going to blow your minds. Vote!
LEGO Masters premieres September 21st on Fox.
You know what's really interesting? Our customers are just so surprised Bridget didn't recommend just the most expensive mattress. That's because she recommends a series of mattresses that'll fit you at different prices. Come in and meet Bridget.
No one told us to get up and go. That's just our rhythm. And when the heart throws that rhythm off, Northern Light Eastern Maine Medical Center will get it back to a healthier beat through minimally invasive procedures for heart disease with no need for open chest surgery. So you can get back to your rhythm of life.
I grew up in Eastport. My dad actually worked for Bangor Hydro, so that was always my goal. I've been here for 36 years. We're all that same company, from Washington County to Bangor, Lincoln, Prescott. We're all the same people. We're all from here. This area is like one big community. When we help people, that's our biggest reward, getting the power back on. We've done that for years, and we'll continue to do that.
The signs of summer are here. The sun's out for the evening commute. Whistles and clapping echo from the ball field, and a day at the lake brings the family together. Valley Home Services offers whole home comfort, serving northern Maine to Portland. With the push of a button on a Fujitsu heat pump, you're ready for whatever summer brings. Humid days or cool nights, come home to comfort with Valley Home Services. Home is our middle name.
The sun is setting on Toyota's national sales event. Wait, they have until September 6th.
Save on gas with a 35 mpg Highlander Hybrid, plus get 1.9% financing. Toyota, let's go places.
Great things are always cooking at the Ground. New menu, new specials, with an amazing variety of choices for every taste. Good times, great service, and amazing food. Only at your locally owned Ground, Odland Road, Bangor.
You know, at Jordan's, we have over 90 different mattresses you can try. That's where Bridget and our sleep techs come in. With a short analysis of you, your sleeping habits, all you have to do is choose the one that's right for you and your budget. Come into Jordan's and meet Bridget.
A federal jury has awarded Kobe Bryant's widow, Vanessa Bryant, $16 million after an 11-day civil trial that went into graphic detail about gruesome photos that were taken and shared from the scene of a helicopter crash that killed all 9 people on board, including Kobe Bryant, back in January 2020. That also included Kobe Bryant's daughter, Gianna, and the 9-member jury found Los Angeles County liable for damages against Bryant and Chris Chester, a financial advisor who lost his wife and daughter in that same crash, and separately awarded $15 million by the same jury.
Well, every year, hundreds of firefighters are hurt on the job, not just from fighting fires, but also from fire engines being involved in crashes. Now, new technology is hoping to eliminate that problem. Fox's Stephanie Bennett has more on how it works.
A lot more people are distracted than they used to be. The sirens and the lights that used to be very effective, they're finding that it's not very effective anymore.
This small black box near the front of the Queen Creek Fire Department's newest truck may solve the problem when drivers do not move out of the way for fire trucks and ambulances during an emergency.
This has been a surprising game changer. And we knew this technology was out, but we didn't know that they were being so rapidly installed in new fire trucks. And for most of us, it was a surprise that our new fire truck came with this device. Gilbert recently took delivery of 3 or 4 engines as well.
Now, within seconds, when these fire crews head out for an emergency, this black box will send an alert to drivers in the area through navigation devices like Waze, Apple Maps, and some built-in car systems in 2018 or newer cars.
The system works anytime the emergency lights are on. So whether we are parked on the side of the road on a car accident or we are driving with lights and sirens to an emergency, this system will be activated.
On average, more than 15,000 fire vehicles are involved in collisions nationwide every year. These collisions are the second leading cause of on-duty deaths for firefighters.
We want to remind people that when you see sirens and lights, move to the right safely. Check your surroundings, move over to the lane and stop. We have the move over motorist law, and a lot of times it's not happening. We find ourselves pretty frustrated when we have when we were responding to emergencies in seconds count.
Now, eventually, they hope that this technology is widespread across the state. For now, if you do not get these alerts, as always, whenever you see those flashing lights, pull over and give them plenty of space. Reporting in Queen Creek, Stephanie Bennett, Fox 10 News.
Well, back here at home, the Southwest Harbor Public Library is offering a series of media literacy courses free of charge during the month of September. As a part of the National Digital Equity Center programs, the Southwest Harbor Library will be offering multi-day classes on email basics and iPhone basics. The courses are free and open to the public. However, the capacity of the email basics course will be limited to 6 attendees. Kate McMullen, the Director of Communications and Technology at the library, explained the importance of the programs to the community.
Got all sorts of, versions and apps and things like that. But really, it's even just getting to how do I get to my email on my phone? How do I get Wi-Fi? And these things are essential today. You can't do anything without them.
The first of the email basics courses will take place September 1st, while the iPhone basics course starts on September 12th.
Acadia National Park is expecting high visitation numbers over Labor Day weekend. Visitors are advised to plan ahead and expect long lines. Park staff ask for visitors to only park in designated parking spaces. Recreation.gov can assist patrons with vehicle and camping reservations. And for more information on Acadia National Park, you can call 288-3338. And even though it's going to be busy, I find that late summer, fall, really a beautiful time to go and visit Acadia National Park.
We're lucky we can pretty much, head there anytime that we want, which is a great gift in and of itself.
Yeah.
But certainly with how busy that weekend is, maybe go the weekend before or a couple weekends after, maybe save yourself a couple of headaches for sure. And maybe head there this weekend because the weather's looking pretty nice and we'll have the full 5-day coming up.
Stay with us.
We had some scattered showers out there today. How long will that rain stick around, and when are we finally going to see the sun again? I'll have all the answers coming up.
Now you can buy a certified pre-owned vehicle with confidence at every turn. Meet Ford Blue Advantage. Browse our massive inventory online anytime. Then check out our vehicles in person at your Ford dealer. See, touch, drive before you buy. And get a certified inspection, a Ford-backed warranty, Carfax report, a money-back guarantee, and 31,000 factory-trained technicians to service your Ford after the sale. Ford Blue Advantage, certified pre-owned vehicle buying built for you.
Out with the old and in with the new. Check out Pat's Pizza Specials. Tuesdays, $5 spaghetti and meatballs. Tuesday all day breadstick special. Wednesday, large one-topping pizzas, $8. Wednesday, small steak and cheese with French fries, $6.25. Friday, fish with French fries, $7.50. Saturday, small one-headed pizza, fountain soda, $7.25. And you can still save some dough. Bring the family to the all-new Pat's Pizza, 662 Main Road North, Hamden.
At Bouchard Cleaning, rebuilding and restoring means more than just another job. To us, it's about bringing back cherished memories, restoring unforgettable moments in time, and giving hope when all was thought to be lost. For over 35 years, our mission has remained the same. You keep the memories, we'll handle the rest. Statewide commercial and residential services. Bouchard Cleaning and Restoration.
Happy Wednesday and welcome back. Our main weather is brought to you by Diversified Ink Tattoo Studios, providing custom inks by licensed artists for over 20 years. So today, maybe not the best traveling weather as we are under some scattered showers across the day and across the state, I would say, throughout the day today. That's going to last overnight, but then look what happens by tomorrow. We're finally going to be in the clear. So finally, some nice weather is back in the forecast. Those scattered showers have been lingering throughout the day today, but it's going to be gone just like that. But look what happens by Friday. More chances of showers and thunderstorms are back. So we are in a summer mode. It is more of an active weather season and a pretty active weather week, I would say, as those scattered showers are lingering in the area. Some locations might actually get close to half an inch of rain, even over an inch of rain in some locations, kind of like Portland or any locations close to the southern part of the state, closer to the coast, where those rain showers will be just a tad bit heavier the next couple of days. But temperatures earlier weren't as nice as we'd like it to be. We'd expect maybe some 80s out there, but we only had a 75-degree high today in Bangor, some lower 70s actually by the coast today. So it was a little bit of a cooler one with those winds blowing, especially closer by the coast. Maybe bring out a longer sleeve shirt for today, but don't worry, temperatures will warm back up by tomorrow actually, so you don't have to wait much longer. 80s are back, then we cool back off into the 70s Friday, Saturday. Look what happens Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. 80s are back, so we are going to have some warmer, above average temperatures actually the next week or week and a half actually. So it's going to be a pretty nice and pleasant week. Dew points are going to start to drop, especially Friday into Saturday once that rain moves out, and then we start to climb up in those dew points. Once again, they'll be in the 60s, so it's going to feel a little bit more sticky and maybe not the nicest outdoor weather day. So enjoy the weather while it lasts. It's still middle to end of August. Temperatures are mild tonight. We're going to be hovering around 62 degrees under a partly cloudy sky, and some dense fog will be possible by the morning hours. So leave extra early for your morning commute and really take precautions. Tomorrow, though, rebound in temperatures, a much better looking day. Temperatures are going to be in the 80s under a partly cloudy sky and some small chances of some showers and thunderstorms later in the day. But our extended forecast outlook does show rain back by Friday. By Saturday, though, we're in the clear. Same thing by Sunday. Temperatures close to 80 degrees. And on Monday, we're going to be pretty clear and temperatures climbing up into the mid-80s. Beth?
All right, Conrad, thanks so much.
And sports is still to come with Dave Peck, so stay with us.
The 201 horsepower turbocharged Kia Forte GT. Finally a reason to pull those aviators out of the glove compartment. Get 3.49% APR for up to 48 months on the purchase of a new 2023 Forte.
Do you struggle to open or close your windows? Are they drafty or leaky? Are you constantly adjusting your thermostat only to have your energy bill skyrocket? If you're nodding your head yes, Renewal by Andersen is your best solution. They custom build and install weather-tight replacement windows and back them with a generous, fully transferable limited warranty.
Call now to schedule your free design consultation. Plus, take advantage of this limited time offer with incredible savings and attractive financing. Don't miss out. Call Renewal by Andersen today.
We're lucky to live in Maine. We have a wealth of natural resources, hardworking people, and time for the things that matter. Mechanical Services is all about Maine, with energy efficiency that protects our environment and helps businesses grow. Preventive maintenance and energy solutions that save money. How Maine is that? Mechanical Services. We're everywhere you are in Maine.
Jason Aldean. Rock and Roll Cowboy Tour 2022. Presented by Wolf Moon Bourbon. Saturday, September 10th, Maine Savings Amphitheater, Bangor, Maine, with Tracy Lawrence. Time marches on. And John Morgan. If I didn't love. ACM Artist of the Decade, Jason Aldean. Let's get this thing started. It's my kind of. On sale now at waterfrontconcerts.com or ticketmaster.com.
Skeletons, 6 feet deep, like could have been so sweet, bro. Skeletons, fasten your seatbelts, call the police when I start to believe.
Get 3.49% APR for up to 48 months on the purchase of a new 2023 Soul.
One at a time.
Welcome back, everyone. Well, Wednesday night marked the unofficial end of training camp for Maine football, and as it's been for decades, that meant the annual Meet the Black Bears night at Alphonse Stadium. Hard to beat an event like this one. Kids from all over getting the chance to run drills with members of Maine football, and a beautiful night for it as well. After they got their work in, everyone was able to get autographs with their favorite players, grab a slice of pizza, and even watch Minions: The Rise of Gru on the stadium's big screen. Just an incredible event for all the kids, but also for head coach Jordan Stevens to see his guys out and about with the community.
I think it's good to see our players in a different light, see them interact with kids, and see our coaches interact with kids. I think it all helps build that trust with each other too.
Playing last year, we had a lot of togetherness, but it wasn't a family. This year I feel like it's a family. The Coach Stevens coming in, like just bringing the brotherhood and stuff like that. I feel like we all just connect more, and that brings it to the field.
Now again, the Black Bears kick off their 2022 season on September 3rd at New Mexico. Just a day before that, though, is the first Friday night lights of the high school football season. Bangor had a breakthrough year in 2021, but there are a lot of new faces this season looking to keep that momentum going.
Did you feel last year the energy around Bangor football was back?
Yes, definitely it was.
By all accounts, 2021 was a turning point for a Bangor program looking to recapture the days of old.
Growing up through this program, Bangor football was pretty much in the shadow, and I think that last year definitely brought us back.
At 7-2, the Rams hosted their first playoff game since 2014. But progress isn't always linear, and this season the slate gets wiped clean as the Rams move forward without nearly all of last year's starters.
There's a lot of now juniors, people who didn't play as much last year, coming in wanting to show what they got.
One of those juniors is quarterback Jack Shook, who enters the season as QB1 after waiting in the wings of former QB Max Clark.
They've always worked harder than everybody I know. I think they definitely deserved what they got last year. That's just because of the work ethic alone. I definitely picked up on how to work hard from these seniors.
Learning work ethic is step one. Now, as the new crop of leaders, the challenge becomes making that attitude resonate up and down the roster.
With this right here, guys, it's real simple.
I'm used to sitting back, having the captain speak, but now that's my job, and I think that's the hardest part so far, being that vocal leader that I have to be.
But the good news for Shook is he's not alone in carrying the torch of those who've come and gone.
We have 3 captains on team, But I think on the field, we have 11 leaders.
It definitely is big shoes to fill, but I'm here to fill them. I'm here to put in the work, put in the effort, and try and stand out and try and lead this team.
And what a better way to start out the season of hosting your rivals on September 2nd. Week 1, it'll be Brewer who comes to town for Bangor, so we'll, of course, have coverage of that in our first week of Sports Blitz. Meanwhile, down in Portland on Wednesday, the Sea Dogs continued a big 6-game series with the Hartford Yard Goats, and yet another Red Sox making an appearance down at Hadlock. Sox second baseman Trevor Story making a rehab start with the Dogs, coming back from a right wrist fracture he suffered back in mid-July. Bottom one here, runner at third. Story delivers a long sac fly to center. That gives the Sea Dogs a quick 2-0 lead. Dog starter Brian Mata was cruising on the mound, as he's been lately. Here, getting Zach Veen looking. So we would go to the bottom of the third. Another AB for Story. He had 3 on the night. Some good rips, but eventually able to earn a 6-pitch walk. And then on first base, a few pitches later, Story showing off his wheels. That wasn't ever the problem. He's able to steal second base here with ease, looking good on the base pass. He gets some action in the field as well, playing second base for the Dogs as they go on to win it 8-0. Here was Story after the game talking about the mental challenge of working back from an injury.
The more you play, the more you kind of get used to that, and the more experienced you are with coming back, and just realizing, that's in the past, and just kind of be where your feet are and just play the game. Kind of let it rip. Don't be hesitant. Don't try to feel for it. That's the way that I've felt coming back the best from injuries, and tonight was a good first step, and I feel like I did that.
And he said after the game that he's expected to play a couple more days in Portland moving forward. Finally, though, we know the Patriots are on a business trip in Las Vegas. We also know that Bill Belichick is generally a tough nut to crack. What I didn't know is how much joy a shiny gold belt can bring a man who already owns 8 rings. Here he was. Leave it to Herman's own Dana White to make Bill crack a grin ear to ear. He's presented with the official UFC belt there as the Pats visited their training center. I feel like one of the biggest accomplishments that you can have. It's got to be so satisfying. Just look at that. See that grin from Bill. Not a lot of reporters get that, but Dana White, you certainly know how to get the job done. All right, that's sports. We'll be right back after the break.
$7.8 million. That's how much I made home sellers in the past 2 years. Planning on selling? I'm Holly Taylor. Come to the one, gets it done. HollyTaylor.Realtor.
The Penobscot Poorhouse, Bangor's favorite neighborhood pub, is your place to catch all your sports and live music. Don't miss a second of the action on our 24 TVs and big screen. Enjoy live music every Friday and Saturday nights, karaoke on Wednesdays, and trivia on Thursdays. Concert season is in full swing. Relax in one of our 2 outdoor seating areas, including our new beer garden. The Penobscot Poorhouse is the place to be before and after the show. The Penobscot Poorhouse, Bangor's #1 sports and entertainment location, 14 Larkin Street off Main Street in Bangor.
Big trucks rule the road. They're dangerous, and they can cause big, bad injuries. But the big trucking companies don't stand a chance against me. I'm Jim with Lowry & Associates. If you've been hurt by a big truck, call the twos. We win for you.
Remember those summers that were just so perfectly summer?
Brian, come on!
The people, the places, those moments are still out there.
I'm Brian.
Waiting to be found.
Ready, Brian?
Summer won't last forever, so make the most of it during Toyota's National Sales Event.
Come and get an electrified all-wheel drive Highlander Hybrid with 35 mpg and up to a 598-mile driving range. Plus, get affordable 1.9% financing on Highlander.
Come in today.
Toyota. Let's go places.
Welcome to your family fun entertainment center, Movie Rocket Entertainment Galaxy. Movie Rocket has newly renovated cinemas, and the Starcade features all the best video and arcade games around. Movie Rocket, 268 Odland Road in Bangor, and at movierocketbangor.com.
The bond between twins is a close one.
1, 2, 3, 4, I declare a thumb war.
As day is tonight.
Would you like me to introduce you to algebra? Ow who? Oh boy.
And wrong is to right.
They both say weird kid who eats alone.
You can't have one without the other.
I need my own space. But we've always shared a room. I have a training bra. When you complete your training, get back to me.
Young Sheldon.
Weekdays at 6 on Fox 22.
When selling your home, knowing your options could make you tens of thousands of dollars. That's what I do for my clients. I'm Holly Taylor. Come to the one who gets it done. HollyTaylor.Realtor.
This family's hanging on to a lot of secrets.
Let me tell you the guy gonna cut you down.
Monarch premieres Sunday, September 11th on Fox.
From an enthusiastic series renewal to an Oscar-winning movie back in theaters, we have that and more in today's Hollywood Nation with Fox's Ashley Dvorkin.
I want to reboot the old sitcom Step Right Up.
A reboot reunion. Larry gets another season, and we revisit Pandora in the Hollywood Nation.
You should see your faces.
Audiences can take in an Avatar refresher via re-release in 4K HD, September 23rd. And there's a new trailer to celebrate. The 2009 film returns to theaters just before the long-awaited sequel, The Way of Water, premieres December 16th.
You can go to the theater to see Laurie and Michael confront each other for the last time.
Laurie Strode sent a message to fans about her upcoming showdown with Michael Myers. The final franchise installment, Halloween Ends, will premiere on Peacock October 14th with the theatrical release. Its precursor, Halloween Kills, had a similar release because of the pandemic. Thanking fans for their support, Curtis recommended both. Theater, then rewatch at home, then repeat.
Larry, you can't look me in the eye and toast? What does it do?
HBO renewed Curb Your Enthusiasm for a 12th season. Sharing his excitement, Larry David says, quote, "Playing the role of Larry David has been the greatest honor of my life. In researching this multifaceted, multi-talented man, I discovered that there's more to him than I ever could have imagined." Adding, he's so excited to once again transform into this force of nature.
Remember I told you they were rebooting my old show?
In today's First Looks, it's Hulu's comedy series Reboot, with Keegan-Michael Key, Judy Greer, Johnny Knoxville, and Paul Reiser amongst the star-studded cast. The show is about an early 2000s family sitcom rebooted, forcing its dysfunctional cast back together. It premieres September 20th.
I'm new to humor. What do you do? Vice President of Comedy.
In New York, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
Well, Build-A-Bear is officially ready for fall with its new Pumpkin Spice Bear. That's right. The DIY stuffed animal company revealed the new 16-inch teddy bear on Tuesday, showing off pumpkin orange-colored fur and sparkly gold paws and ears. It can be customized with autumn-styled outfits and accessories like a scarf, dress, miniskirt, winter boots, and even a plush pumpkin spice latte wristband. Fans can also add a pumpkin spice scent and personal sound. The bear is available at buildabear.com.
And heading down the pumpkin spice landslide even further, your love of all things pumpkin could actually lead to some cash. The personal finance advice website Finance Buzz is looking for what it's calling a pumpkin spice pundit. The site says this is someone who will taste and rate seasonal fall foods at Trader Joe's. Finance Buzz will pay the winner $1,000 for their services and give them a $500 Trader Joe's gift card. Some of the taste testers' tasks will include chowing down on pumpkin-stuffed ravioli, pumpkin waffles, and pumpkin samosas. Finance Buzz says the market research will be used to help shoppers pick which foods to get, and applications must be in by August 28th. The candidate will be chosen by September 2nd.
I'll just go ahead and say I'll do it for free. You don't even
I
have
was
to
just
pay
going
me.
to say, you probably step up and volunteer for that one.
Yeah, I'm not always the biggest fan of pumpkin-flavored things, but
Right.
I'd bite the bullet for that opportunity.
I'll happily taste test the pumpkin ravioli.
That sounds pretty dang good.
Indeed.
All right. That's all for tonight. Good night.